What's going on, everybody? This is Jackson Voles from JD Sports Zone, and today I have a very special guest. It's not Banana Ball. We're pivoting to my very first interview relating to football. D1 O lineman about to enter the transfer portal, Brody Balliew. Brody, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. How was your Christmas and happy holidays?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Christmas is always pretty good. I get to spend some time with some family. Especially being a football player, you don't get much time at home, so it's nice being home, seeing the people that I haven't seen in a while. No, but I like I said, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you on, especially, with you having an amazing season at the University of West Georgia. I'm a senior there, so it's great to have you on. Now, I want to start, relating to my first question at the beginning of your collegiate career out of high school. You enrolled at Furman, and you spent the first couple years of your collegiate football career there. And then after hitting the transfer portal, which is nothing new to you, you went to the University of West Georgia, City of Dreams, Carrollton, Georgia. I want to ask you, what was it like going from limited action at Furman to being a mainstay, almost playing every single snap at the University of West Georgia, leading you to obviously being named UAC second all-team offense personally for you?
It was definitely a roller coaster of events. I mean, coming out of high school, I knew that I needed to get stronger, bigger, faster. So, um, not having a lot of time at Furman definitely hurt. I thought right after my freshman season, I started to get things in the spring, and then once I got to my second year, like that fall, I was like, man, this is my moment, this is my opportunity. And unfortunately, I got a little bit of action, but it wasn't what I was expecting. So I just felt like I needed to start. And I ended up hitting the transfer portal, and West Georgia came calling. And, Coach Davis was there. Coach Goddard hadn't been there yet, but um, Coach Coach Goddard was an awesome coach, and obviously Coach Taylor gave me the opportunity to be there, and um, it was definitely an awesome year, man. I finally got back to what I loved about the game in high school when I was younger. Playing is so much different than anything else, and getting the opportunity to play was probably the best thing that's happened to me. And um, so just getting that time was great.
I mean, it's great to, you had a great experience at the University of West Georgia, especially, we saw what the offense did. I was on the field every single time for those home games. And, the offensive line, I mean, you played every single snap and you helped Davin Widener, truly create his mobility, at the home there. And then Latrell Morrell and TJ Lester, I mean, 167 yards a game. I mean, you were a true piece of that. And this kind of relates to my next question. What's the first thing you say to a running back? Like, I mean, you had Latrell Morrell in the backfield or TJ Lester after, like a big game, especially at home.
I'm thanking them. There's moments in the game where we mess up and they make us right. And man, those guys are so special. Davin's a good friend of mine, and obviously Latrell and TJ are great friends of mine too. But I most of the time, man, that's how I get represented. As offensive lineman, you don't get some of the recognition that other guys do. So as long as they're getting the recognition, that's that's great with me. That's just enough for me. And I'm glad that. I mean, obviously they did their thing. I mean, don't I missed plenty of blocks this season, and they made up for it. So, I'm very proud of those guys, and most of it was them. We just kind of do our thing and let them do theirs.
I mean, it's great to hear, that perspective, especially from a guy who played it for the West Georgia Wolves and, had experience in the game with the offensive, mindset relating to that. And you talked about blocks, and this relates to my next question. 30 pancake blocks for you, Brody, this season, during the 2025 season. Do you keep track of that during the game, or do you find out later, or what is your reaction to, like, all the pancake blocks that you get during the season?
Yeah, you know what? I don't really. That's not something that I keep a track of. And it's great, but at the end of the day, wins are all that I call them. You can have as many stats and as many this and this and that, but at the end of the season, if you don't have a good record, that's reflected on you as well. So as long as the team gets some wins, that's all I care about.
I mean, that's a great mentality and mindset to have. And you guys had a lot of wins this season. I've been here since the first 2 years of D2 when I was a freshman and sophomore. And, it's great to see we're back on the winning record and the winning track. And, you guys played a big pivotal part of the offensive line, especially, with, all the 8 wins this season, heading throughout the entire season. Now, I want to ask you this. Obviously, you're on the offensive side of the trenches, and that's one of the hardest positions to play in all of football. How do you stay mentally locked in, especially when you're on the trenches within a football game? Like, what helps you stay locked in?
I mean, I'd say that my teammates are a huge key of that. I played next to Sam, and Sam was there for the D2 years, and um, all the guys up front. We keep each other in check. That's your family. If somebody messes up, somebody's going to check you, and if you need to check somebody, that's how you do it. There's no hard feelings. That's just how you stay locked in. And not only that, but really the defense kept me in check. At least I know they did our whole offense, but going against our defense, which was great this year, going against them in practice, we that's how you kind of stayed level headed. And it's like, wow, I'm going against this great defense, and sometimes I'm getting beat, sometimes we're winning, like so that's your teammates and the team definitely keep you in check. I'd say the most.
I mean, it's great to have that mindset and, utilizing your teammates around, especially from the defensive side of the ball. I mean, we saw that star-studded defense as well for the West Georgia Wolves perform, all season long. And, I want to ask you another question about relating to the trenches. Only 3 sacks allowed all season for you. What's your internal reaction when when you think a defender maybe has a chance at beating you? Like, what is there any sort of adjustments that you make physically at the line during the season? Like, any shifts?
Um, you know, uh, I'd say no. You just obviously at the end of the day that they're getting paid to try to beat you. So I mean, you can't think about how if you get beat, it's still in your mind, but you've got to flush it. You got to go to the next play, and um, I've worked my whole life, and you gotta stick with what you're good at, stick to your roots, and there's definitely certain players that you have to switch up and maybe do some little things differently, but at the end of the day, the same. You have to keep the same mindset regardless of who you're going against, and like I said, I'm good friends with Davin, and he got me out of a few sacks this year, so I'm great, very thankful for that. But um, definitely you just definitely got to stick to your roots and do your thing.
I mean, it's great to have the Brody Balliew mindset. I feel like a lot of football players kind of, lose that in their sense. Like, I mean, mentality blocks them out. I mean, it's a mental fight out there on the field every single day. I have a couple friends who play at Mercer and Charlotte, and they have told me that there has been times that they've wanted to give up, and it's a hard fought battle, not just dealing with school. The school life, but also, the athletic, putting your heart on your sleeve out on the field. So it's
Yeah,
great
no
to hear
doubt.
that mindset.
Yeah.
Uh, for sure. Now, I want to ask you a fun question about staying locked in. We talked about the mentality aspect of being locked in on the field. I want to ask you, is there any pregame hype songs or pregame rituals or pregame snacks that you like to deal with, before heading out onto the football field? Or are you planning to switch it up wherever, the next destination you go to?
Yeah, so that's funny you say that. For some reason, I'm a huge Rod Wave fan, and Rod Wave is like that's that's right before the game. Like I'll listen to whatever like pregame warm ups and like stuff like that. But once you come back in from like the original, like the big warm up with the whole team, I've got Rod Wave on. That's any Rod Wave song. I'm not very picky, but definitely Rod Wave is definitely my music choice right there before the game, just trying to keep me calm and But other than that, some pregame rituals. Obviously I'm here. I personally believe in God, and that's I have to pray before every game. He's the one who got me here, and I'm only in this position because of him. So um, I definitely have to thank him, before every game that I get the opportunity and the ability to do what he's given me to do. And other than that, actually, I don't like to get too locked in. That's kind of one of the things. I like to have fun with my teammates and talk to them about the game before the game and stuff like that. But other than that, there's not really any rituals that I've got. No.
I mean, it's great that you have a pregame set regimen, especially, putting your faith and trust in God, because He's always going to have a plan for you, no matter, what avenue you decide to take, whether it's on the football field, whether it's in the office, whenever it's in the workforce. I mean, it's great to have, that set ritual, especially relating to that. And then, the Rod Wave aspect with the songs. Personally, I love Rod Wave. How the Game Go, personally, is my favorite Rod Wave song. So relating to, I guess, pregame, do you have a pregame snack? That was the final thing.
Oh, no, not really. I don't know that I like to eat a lot before the game. Like other than we get pregame meal and stuff like that. But I'm not a big. I'm honestly not a big snack guy during the game. I may eat like half of a Rice Krispie treat. I would say if anything. But if I had to choose, you know, there's uh there's some little, I don't even know what they're called. They're like energy waffle things. Stinger, I think, is what they're called. Um, they're pretty good. My guy Sam put me on those. So um, those are some of the pregame snacks that I would say.
I mean, if Rice Krispie treats and energy waffles, put up the stats that you did this season, I mean, I might have to invest in that,
There you go.
whenever I take my next trip to the Carrollton Walmart down the
Yeah,
street. But,
yeah.
honestly, I love to hear that. I mean, Rice Krispie treats, Rod Wave, and faith in the Lord. I think that's something you need to have every single day. Especially with a regimen like that. Now, I want to ask you another fun question, relating to your last D1 season. Obviously, you talked about the relationships with Davin Widener, Sam Regina,
Yeah.
guys like them. Do you have any favorite off the field moments from this past season that the fans don't really get to see?
Oh wow. Um, Man, that's a hard question. There's a lot to choose from. I had a great group of friends there at West Georgia, and they'll probably be. I mean, they'll definitely be in my wedding one day. Huh. I'd say probably. We had a golf tournament one time. And I don't know if you know him, but Reed. He was a long snapper there. He was there, and that was a fun time. I'd also say we went to Bryce Dickerson's hometown in Elbert County, Georgia, and they had some charity softball event, and this was during the summer. So we stayed at his lake house and had a good time, and we got to play in that charity softball event. There was a little kid, and they were trying to raise money for him. He was very sick, so that was. Those are probably two of the best moments that I have off the field with those guys. Yeah.
I mean, it's great that you have amazing off the field moments, especially, getting involved in the community, like charity softball games. And you said Brian Snickers Lake House?
Bryce Dickerson's lake house. Yeah.
Oh, Bryce Dickerson. I
Yeah.
I heard Brian Snicker, and I'm like, that would also be awesome. Bryce Dickerson also,
Yeah.
big fan of him as well. Great tight end for us this season.
Absolutely.
But honestly, yeah, I mean, it's still great to hear. Getting involved in the community, especially with the younger generation, and
Yeah.
showing out for them. I mean, the biggest thing you can do as an athlete is make them either a fan of you or want to do what they are passionate about doing. I mean, that's awesome to hear. Now, I want to ask you another fun question, relating to football. Obviously, I mean, you're an offensive lineman. I want to ask you an offensive lineman question relating to the NFL. If you could do a collaboration or, spend a day with an NFL player, it can be former or current. an offensive lineman, who would it be and why?
Ooh, that's another good question. I'd say Panay Sewell's up there for sure. Jordan Mailata, I like him a lot. He's a fun guy. I kind of watch some of those Philadelphia Eagles YouTube videos, and he's just a cool guy to be around. So I'd probably say Jordan Mailata. Um, that'd be a cool collaboration. Like we could do. Um, I'd like to do like a cook off. I'm a big I like grilling. So if we had a like an Australian versus American cook off, that'd be pretty cool.
I mean, I'd love to see that, and I love the answer because I'm a big Philadelphia Eagles fan. So Jordan Mailata is the perfect guy to do that. I mean, he can sing a little bit as well. I mean, I've
Yeah,
seen the videos as well. Could we see a Brody
yeah.
Balliew and a Jordan Mailata sing off?
No, I could do it. I could do it. I could do. I wouldn't be great, but I'd probably do. I could do my best for sure.
I mean, I'd love to see it. I mean, maybe we can see it out on YouTube collaboration. Jordan, if you're watching this, reach out to my guy Brody
Yeah,
and
no doubt.
do that. So, I mean, I want to ask, grilling aspect. What's your favorite thing to grill? I mean,
Oh, I'm a big brisket guy. The cool thing about it is it's like football, or I'm a big golf guy. It's big. It's just like golf. It's it's almost never the same. Like you can never. I don't want to say you can never perfect it, but you could get a way of grilling something down, or how long you want to grill it, and it not be the same the next time you cook it. So um, that's kind of what I like about grilling, and brisket's a hard thing to grill. So that's probably what I say was my favorite for sure.
I love brisket. Have you ever been to Bucky's?
Oh, we actually have one here in Calhoun, where I'm from, and they put it in right before I left for college, and it's awesome to go up there, and it's a very busy area for sure.
I mean, it's great to have a Bucky's near you. Personally, the closest one to me is Macon, and that's 45 minutes down the
Oh
road
yeah,
from me. But honestly, I've been to the Calhoun Bucky's. I love that. Honestly, a brisket sandwich from Bucky's is always the go-to with a good sweet tea. I mean,
yeah,
honestly, that is what I look forward to every time I drive up to Calhoun Bucky's.
yeah.
That's what I look forward to. But Brody, one more fun question, and then a final question about your collegiate career. Obviously, I'm assuming you're an NFL fan.
Oh, a big NFL guy for sure.
Who's your favorite NFL team?
Oh, I don't know if I want to put this out there. Um,
The
I'm
Saints?
actually I'm actually a Raiders fan.
Hmm.
I was a big Falcons fan, and they gave me some hope. They gave me some hope, and then every year it just came crashing down. So, um, I'd say Khalil Mack, when Khalil Mack was on the Raiders, he was a super fun guy to watch. And as an offensive lineman, you're always watching the offensive line or defensive line and whatnot. So Khalil Mack was probably one of my favorite players, and so that's what made me like the Raiders. And unfortunately, I'm still a Raiders fan today. It's not very fun to watch the games now, but it was back then for sure.
I mean that wasn't gonna be my question, but honestly, Raiders was not the team I was really thinking of. Honestly, you were gonna say either Falcons or Saints, being from this area, but
Yeah,
Raiders, it's a little rough, man. I mean,
it's a little rough for sure.
2-13 this season. I mean, hey,
Yeah,
I hope it turn around. I love Geno Smith. I love Pete Carroll. So
yeah.
hopefully you can get the turnaround there. But my question was going to be, obviously, you see some top tier teams locked into the playoffs already. I mean, the Eagles, the Packers, the Patriots, the Bills. I mean, just to name a few teams. Do you have Super Bowl predictions?
Ooh, um, I'm a huge Matt Stafford guy, and
Mm.
man, the way that they've been playing this year, they're and that defensive line that they have, man, I don't know. Other than the Eagles, the Eagles' offensive line is obviously my favorite offensive line, I'd say. But um, man, outside of those guys, I don't know who can deal with the Rams' defensive line. So I think I'd say the Rams. I think they're going to get their get back against the Seahawks at some point, and that's probably my prediction for sure.
I mean, if it's not the Eagles, I wouldn't mind the Rams. I would not mind the Rams, for a Super Bowl champion. But Brody, final question for you. Obviously, as you hit the transfer portal when it opens January 2nd, What can teams reaching out to you expect from Brody Balliew?
I'm never going to quit. You know, I've I've had many people doubt me in my life, that I couldn't do this. I couldn't do this sport. I couldn't play this sport. I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't. There was always something um, that was holding me back for some people in their mind. And I'm a petty person. I love to prove people wrong, and so that's what I'm going somewhere to do. And contribute to a team, and hopefully compete for a national championship, and win a bunch of games. Just that's what I do. That's what I've done my whole life, and this is where it's gotten me. So that's what I'm going to continue to do, is compete and do everything I can for a team to win.
I mean, it's great to hear the collegiate mindset, and especially from a D1 O lineman like yourself. And obviously, we saw the heart on the sleeve and the talent out on the field. And, obviously, we're going to miss you here at West Georgia, but we wish you the best of luck, wherever you head to next. And, Brody, thank you so much for taking time out of your Christmas break to do this. And truly an honor to get you on the podcast, man.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna miss West Georgia for sure. It's definitely got a special place in my heart for giving me the opportunity to come and play, and to Coach Taylor and Coach Davis and Coach Goddard, all the coaches at West Georgia. I couldn't thank them enough for giving me that opportunity. It's like I said, it's truly changed my life. And I appreciate you bringing me on here. This is kind of the first time I've done something like this, and it's been a lot of fun, so I appreciate it.
I mean, it's great to have you on. Thank you so much again, truly.
Yeah, absolutely.